Hello, I Nirmala Rawat welcome you to my YouTube channel. Thank you for listening. In the last part, we learned Mata was worried about the future of mankind and nature. Sri Ram took Mata all over the world to leave their footprints and show Mata that there always will be those people on earth who will always love, care for, and protect the life on earth. Soma continues further. Part 4, Chapter 21. Another incident occurred a year or so after that, which made Mata's presence here known to the people of Ayodhya. Love and Kush were now spending more time studying at the hermitage, which freed up our time considerably. One afternoon, as Mata returned from gathering medicinal plants from the forest, one of the teachers from the hermitage came running up the path of her cottage out of breath, with a look of fright on his face. He explained that a chariot carrying the wife and daughter of a family very close to the Guru had been on its way to the hermitage to seek the Guru's blessing for the upcoming marriage of the daughter. The chariot had been waylaid by robbers, who killed the guards and harmed the daughter. Mother and daughter both had taken a bad fall and were unconscious. Guruji will be furious when he returns and discovers this, the teacher exclaimed. Where are they? Bring them to me right away, insisted Mata. Mother and daughter were soon carried into our cottage. The daughter's clothing was ripped and she was bleeding badly. Her breathing was shallow and irregular, leading me to fear she might not live. Once we were alone, Mata examined them both and said, The mother is all right, but the daughter is badly wounded. She has been violated multiple times. Mata shook her head. Bring me the baskets of medicines. Fortunately, I gathered today just what I need. I proceeded to clean the girl while Mata prepared the herbal mixture. For hours, Mata rubbed the herbs on her womb area while I tried to get some of the liquid into her mouth. That night, Mata sent me off to care for the children while she sat watching over the daughter. After I had put them to bed, I returned and found Mata seated by the girl's side in meditation, uttering mantras in a barely audible voice. This went on for hours. I continued to rub the girl's womb with the herbal remedies. I must have fallen asleep, but I was called back to the world by a commotion outside. It was early morning. I found Mata bending over the girl, checking her breathing. She is coming back to life, Mata remarked with a slight smile. Her breathing has returned to normal. The commotion outside grew louder. Mata looked up with a strange expression on her face, and then she shouted a resounding no. Before I knew what was happening, she was gone, like a streak of lightning, like the shadow of the wind. She was one moment seated beside the girl in our cottage, and the next moment outside. I ran to the door and saw her standing in front of two men who had been thrown to the ground, as if shielding them. Guruji stood before her with raised hand, about to utter a curse. I heard Mata's voice, but it did not seem to come from her physical body. The voice seemed to come from the sky, the earth, the trees, from every living being. It shouted, No! This is the end of the time of curses. I saw Guruji standing there, frozen as if paralyzed, and I saw that Sri Ram was just arriving. After a few moments, Guruji lowered his arm. Before I knew it, Mata was back in the cottage, standing by the window, with her back toward me. Her whole body was trembling, vibrating with great force. I could not even approach her, such was the power emanating from her body. After 30 minutes later, Sri Ram approached the cottage. I didn't know whether to leave or stay, as I didn't understand what was happening, but I felt I needed to continue to tend to the young girl, so I stayed by her side. Sri Ram stood for a few minutes in the doorway. Mata didn't look up. She didn't greet him. Whatever had just occurred disturbed her terribly. Her body was still trembling, as if currents of lightnings were passing through her. It was the Shakti she had invoked. How are the mother and daughter? Sri Ram asked in a sober tone. The mother is unharmed, just a bruise on her head. The daughter was badly wounded, but will recover, I replied. He went over to Mata and placed his hand on her shoulder. As soon as he touched her, the trembling ceased. Those two men have been banished for killing the guards and for theft. No mention has been made of the violence against the young girl. Mata turned to look at him. I could see the struggle on her face. He continued, What you did, Sita, was right. Early on, curses were necessary for the enactment of the law of cause and effect, for the sake of justice. But you are right, Sita. The time for curses has passed. Too many lives have been issued out of anger, not for the sake of justice. The girl has been violated multiple times, Sita said quietly. But she will have no memory of it, and her body will bear no signs. Her mother also will have no memory. They will be completely healed. No one must know what truly took place, so that her marriage can proceed. Sri Ram nodded. Mata continued in a sorrowful tone. A girl is violated through no fault of her own. Then society rejects her and her life is destroyed. This is not justice. It is ignorance, Sita, that makes it so. Dispelling ignorance is the only remedy. Such misdeeds have taken place since the beginning of human society. But in the past, it was due to lust, to a lack of control of one's passion. Sita sighed. This was different. It was for revenge. Those two had a grudge against the family and did this terrible deed out of hatred. They wanted to ruin the daughter to get back at the father. What is this new form of abuse? She was quiet for a few minutes and then continued. I saw that both of those men had young daughters. Guruji was about to curse their families, and the curse would have extended to them as well. The men should receive their due punishment, but the families should be spared. Why should a daughter suffer for the actions of her father? Sri Ram replied in a grave tone. We could not prevent Ravan from setting many new thought patterns that are now spreading through society. Just as man is learning to dominate nature, he will seek to dominate women, and that is the character of the darkened ages that are to come. But that too will pass. We must insert the thought patterns that will secure this world until time moves through the approaching cycles and begin to bring back access to the knowledge that is being lost. Sri Ram continued. It is not just women who will suffer, Sita. When Shakti withdraws herself, it is the whole of the natural world. In the time to come, the separation between mankind and nature will prevent them from seeing the Devs and Devis who animate this world. They will forget that the rivers and mountains are alive, and even the rivers will forget who they are. So much knowledge will be lost. Men will forget that women are the bearers of Shakti, the force of life, but women will forget this as well. Shakti will patiently wait for the time when she can restore the world. It is for this we have come, Sita, to imbue this remembrance into humanity. When the time is right in the turning of the cycles, this knowledge will re-emerge. We will come again into this world, you and I, to reawaken the realm of matter. He turned and smiled at her. Jai Shri Ram. I hope you like this part. Many of the incidents are common nowadays. Let me know your view on this part. Do like, share among the like-minded ones. If not subscribed, do subscribe. Have a great day. Jai Shri Ram.